DiceEnvy.com has a new range of Adventure is Nigh themed dice, including a set styled after my character, Mortimer. Quantities are limited, so get in your orders now for the most stylish way to celebrate the arbitrary cruelty of fate. So you've probably already heard that a game came out that's like the video game equivalent of the Yersinia pestis bacterium, and it's the worst thing ever conceived by the hands of man and will usher in the brown apocalypse that will bury our civilization neath a fecal blizzard. But enough about Redfall, but enough about Atomic Heart, but enough about Forspoken. Blimey, my calendar's filling up. 4 shit apocalypses, gonna have to dry clean the scythe. In all seriousness, you people should be ashamed of yourselves. Have you worked up so much frustration having to plaster on a smile for all your cookie-cutter AAA garbage that when a not-quite-so-big developer without the clout to whip the media into line comes along and has a little stumble while trying to realise their big dream of sitting at the cool kids table, your first instinct is to kick them to death? It's fun to dogpile, isn't it? And it's the only way to get proxy revenge on your school bully who saw your Toy Story underpants and asked you every sodding week till the end of term if you've gotten a Woody today. One review said Gollum crashed on them 100 times. Well, for the record, I finished it without a single crash or game-breaking bug, so I can offer a fully untainted and hyperbole-free review of this extraordinarily shit game. The Lord of the Rings Gollum is a game about Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is fast becoming the new Star Wars. They won't be happy till every side character and murky period on the timeline has been crowbarred out and used to seed a new potential media empire. Still, pivotal though the character is, there's probably more fruitful places you could have gone to before this. Who looked at the ugly, weak little monster who spent 400 years eating raw fish in a cave before causing a whole bunch of problems and dying in a fire and thought, yeah, this window licker's got a rich backstory worth mining? They'd be a great spokesperson for social distancing in the age of COVID. The entire plot of Gollum was glossed over in the source material in like 2 lines. Sauron captured Gollum, tortured him for a bit, then let him piss off. We now learn that Sauron's preferred torture device during this ordeal was about 8 hours of extremely shonky stealth platforming gameplay, paired with a binary choices matter morality system the way one pairs a plate of mouse turds and dried glue with a tall glass of coffee machine runoff. To be honest, I'm hard-pressed to envision how a game about Gollum could have worked. On the narrative level, one can get behind a nasty, effective protagonist or a nice, ineffectual one, but nasty and ineffectual? That's just depressing. Even before I had to watch the little scrote die an average of 50 times an hour, knowing that his eventual lifelong peak will only come after he bites a finger off of nice pretty Elijah Wood. In the first half of the game, Gollum's psychotic little muttering ass is enslaved in an orc mine, so he and by extension we don't do much more than what the orcs tell him to do, as they spit on him and remind him that he's a minute smear of bird plop on the rear bumper of the universe that's barely worth the effort of cleaning off. In the second half of the game, he gets rescued by elves who treat him nicely and give him food and a lovely place to live, so obviously he spends the whole time being a horrible bastard to them and trying to escape so he can get back to his busy schedule of sabotaging his own life. So yeah, the prospect of the story are bleak even before we tackle the gameplay, and afterwards are more at the suicidal level. Suicidal is certainly the word that leaps to mind during the climbing and platforming, which is about the only consistently present gameplay mechanic, after I spent 12 reloads trying to get the little twat badger to jump the right way. I guess living in a cave is no excuse to skip leg day because he leaps like a frog mistaking a barbecue pit for a b-day, but most of the standard suite of jumps and contextual grabs are fairly in character for Gollum when he's scrambling up walls and along ledges like a spider navigating a bathtub, maybe not so much when he's doing pole gymnastics, but it's all tainted by a general ineptitude of design in multiple key areas, like making it clear where we're supposed to go and what is and is not a climbable ledge. I've never missed the ministrations of the Yellow Spray Paint Brigade more. As I say, the little shit muncher jumps like an amorous farmhand hearing the henhouse door slam shut, so it's even odds that he'll actually land on the platform you're aiming at, or if you'll get to enjoy once again the unique sound of a leather bag full of broken deck chair parts being hurled into a crevasse. The only other candidate for core gameplay mechanic is the stealth, but that never does much beyond dudes walk back and forth along straight lines and you basically have to reload if you get spotted at all, which is to the general standards of video game stealth what a 5-second pull-off behind the bike sheds for half a bag of chipsticks is to a high-class escort service. I'd go for stealth platformer if pressed to summarise the gameplay, but in all honesty it's mostly a string of inflexible set pieces where the main objective is just go to where we say to go and do the thing. Like when we learn how to instruct friendly NPCs, which we do maybe twice and never again, or the bit where we learn how to breed a carrier pigeon, confused and slightly affronted tone of voice, which we do once and never again, and try to imagine all of this infused with the constant presence of janky animations, as switching between climbing styles under pressure is like reassembling a jigsaw with clothes pegs on all your fingertips, and all the NPC facial animation resembles that of a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic being called out for lying on their resume. Then there's the binary moral choice system, which is again on brand as it's presented as Gollum and Smeagol arguing amongst themselves, but it's not enough to have us make a decision. We must then go to a little black room and play Dissociative Identity Disorder Debate Club, where we must pick the right options to convince the other personality to go with what we asked to do. Well done, Gollum, you found a way to make binary moral choice slightly more obnoxious. I guess the biscuit can always get soggier, especially when I thought I'd won the debate, but Gollum did the opposite of what I asked anyway, which was either a bug or the game finally fully committing to pissing me about. But I still think think the hate this game's attracted has been a bit over the top. The developers Daedalic have all but exclusively made point-and-click adventures before this. They wanted to move into the bigger leagues and didn't have the chops. There's no malice behind that. At least there's no tacked-on RPG elements or crafting or gear grinding in which we swap out Gollum's dirty underpants for level 24 legendary fiery dirty underpants of the Wombat. There was ambition here to be more than just another cynical time filler. Bad as it is, it's not bad in the way that makes it fun to kick around. So don't hate Daedalic Entertainment viewers. Pity Daedalic Entertainment. Pity them for being but a simple innocent creature twisted and malformed by its attempt to cling to a power far beyond its reach. Ooh, I think I feel a games journalism coming on.